Quick note, I will be holding an event in San Francisco this Saturday, June 12th at 4:30 p.m. Totally free. There will be a paid fundraiser afterwards, like a dinner, but totally free event right before. Be super fun. Link down below. Excited to see you. The next one will be in LA thereafter next Saturday on the 19th. Hey everyone, me Kevin here. So I have to say I was a little bit shocked regarding cryptocurrencies. I thought the FBI recovering Bitcoin was a positive thing. Like, wow, this just goes to show how safe Bitcoin is and how easily it is to track crime. And I'm not trying to minimize the work of the FBI here in tracking. You know, there are presumptions that they use software like Palantir or other devices. We talked about that in a video yesterday, so I'm not going to rehash all that yesterday. I thought this was a positive thing. Like, this is good. This is the next step for cryptocurrencies to show they're resilient against crime and that crime can sort of be rooted out. But I ran this Twitter poll. Follow me at RealMeKevin on Twitter if you haven't yet. And 3,562 of you voted on it. Did the FBI's recovery of the Colonial Pipeline ransom money help or hurt Bitcoin? Only 41.2% of you said it helped. So I'm in the minority with my reaction. Now, that got me thinking, like, wait a minute, why would 58.8% of you say that it hurt Bitcoin? So I thought to myself, okay, well, you know, where maybe I could get a little bit perspective was searching a little bit more about what happened. And we're going to talk about that. But also, take a look at this. Daniel Lin, as I read your comments, I appreciate your comments, even the trolls. I don't know about the appreciating the troll part, but I read them. Anyway, Daniel Lin says, from a libertarian perspective, which I suspect is the perspective of a lot of Bitcoiners, basically free liberty, free control of government, right? Free from government control. There's a lot more to libertarianism. This is not a video about libertarianism, okay? But anyway, this is actually a negative. The fact that the FBI can so easily retrieve the Bitcoin is very scary and calls into question whether Bitcoin is truly beyond reach and control of governments, as a lot of people wish it was. So this is really interesting. When I made a crypto video yesterday about Donald Trump bagging on crypto, I mentioned, like, the whole point of cryptocurrency is to be free from government control, exactly like Daniel here mentions. I said, you know, Donald Trump is complaining that, oh, Bitcoin has the potential of taking away the US dollar's sovereignty or the power of the United States dollar. And I responded with, yeah, that's the point. Like, the point is people being free from government control and having a people's currency, so to speak, a world currency for the people. And this is something that initially we think, like, okay, yeah, I mean, that's great. That makes a lot of sense. But we also don't want cryptocurrencies to have this continued impression that they're used a lot in crime, which, based on statistics we have, cryptocurrencies are used less in crime than ordinary cash, but those statistics could be skewed by the fact that it's very difficult to track certain criminals because they can hide a lot of their transaction history by going through privacy masks and transferring to different currencies, hopping the crypto chains to different, or block hopping to different currencies to sort of try to extinguish their history, especially if they go into privacy coins. So I thought, okay, well, the fact that they stayed in Bitcoin, the hackers who stole money, the fact that they stayed in Bitcoin was a little bit of a head scratcher, that they didn't actively, or maybe I'm sure they were trying to, but the fact that they didn't get out of Bitcoin was a little bit of a head scratcher because Bitcoin's pretty transparent in terms of where the money's going. But I think the bigger issue is, upon further research, we find that it looks like the FBI somehow got control of the privacy key, or the private key, not privacy key, the private key for this person's Bitcoin or organization's Bitcoin that they stole. And what's interesting about that is it begs the questions. How did the FBI get the private key? Did the FBI hack into this organization's computers to get the private key? Did the organization subpoena the exchange, maybe, where these coins were located, and demand the reveal of the private key from the exchange, which holds the key? Or, and this is more sinister, is the government involved in cryptocurrency way more than we think, and this is secretly an NSA project. This is pretty conspiratorial, okay? But this is secretly an NSA project, and we're just falling into the trap of their currency, basically. Like, they're making it feel like it's free from government control, but it's actually a government project. Now that's pretty conspiratorial. I'm gonna go with like a 3% chance that this is an NSA doing, okay? That's 3%. I'm gonna go with more like 40, what's left? I don't know, like 49 and 48 and 47%, something like that. 48, I don't know, whatever. 48 and 49%, okay? Chances on either they hacked or subpoenaed. So hacking the hacker happens, okay? The government is pretty good at doing hacking. In fact, oftentimes the really good hackers, they get job offers from the government like, hey, how about we don't throw you in prison and we just pay you a salary instead? So that's a really interesting consideration that maybe the FBI hacked to get this private key, or the government was able to subpoena the exchange to get this private key and therefore extract money or extract the Bitcoin from wherever it was. Both of these are kind of concerning, and because the private key is very, very critical. And the last thing people want to think is, oh my gosh, the government can just like that. And now, I guess I shouldn't say just like that. It took a month, about 4 weeks-ish. It still took about 4 weeks to get this recovery, right? So it's probably not a just like that thing. But the fact that with 4 weeks, they were able to get the private key makes you wonder, okay, was this a subpoena on an exchange or was it a hack? Either way, both of them prove the power of the government in relation to cryptocurrency. Either way, whether the government hacked to get the private key or they used a court to subpoena an exchange, it shows that if your private key is out of your control and it's in an exchange somewhere, it's up for grabs. Now, I have a hard time believing that these hackers moved their Bitcoin into some exchange, like Coinbase or BlockFi or Voyager, right? Like these regulated exchanges. I have a really hard time believing that the hackers did that. Like if you're a hacker, you know that you're most at risk on one of these exchanges. So I'm leaning more towards they were on some kind of private exchange where they thought they were safe, and these hackers, who I presume to be very intelligent at what it is that they're doing, thought they were good, and then they weren't. And so this is why I believe that, okay, over the 4 weeks, maybe it's more likely, maybe that's the 49 versus the other 48. Maybe the more likely is maybe the FBI did have some kind of, counter hacking stuff going on here. And I don't know, it's speculating, right? It's all speculating. But when you draw all the dots together, this being an NSA conspiracy project, probably lower on the list. Maybe I'm wrong, probably lower on the list. Getting a subpoena on an exchange implies that the hackers are not very bright for leaving their money where it's basically accessible. So I don't know. The more I think about it, honestly, the more I'm leaning towards maybe the FBI, they hacked these folks back. And the FBI has done this before. They've hacked into iPhones after Apple's like, yeah, no, we're not helping you. Those are their privacy issues. We don't have a back door into our iPhones. And the FBI, hired a company and they broke through somehow. So folks, I don't know, but yeah, it makes sense when you look at the crypto charts right now. The crypto community ain't having it. Right now, Bitcoin is down to 31,400, bobbing around a little bit off the 31,000. Dogecoin falling down. Generally, the altcoins fall with Bitcoin. Oh, you can't even see this. Here, there you go. There's the Doge chart. Ethereum down at 2,300 right now, almost getting down to our 23 level there. Actually, it pretty much bounced right off of that within, what is that, 20 bucks there or whatever. And there's that Bitcoin chart again, also bouncing around. So I don't know. I want to hear from you. What do you think? But this goes a lot deeper than I thought. And so, folks, very curious to see what you think. Let me know in the comments down below. And, folks, we'll see you in the next video. Check out the courses linked down below for the amazing 40% off coupon code that gets you lifetime access to my programs. See you in the next one.